Holy goodness, this semester has gone fast and we are now in the final stretch. Oh my goodness. All right, so I know you're probably feeling excited. That's the word I'm going to use about the end of the semester and everything that you need to get done right now. First of all, let me and Dr. Sellen tell you guys how impressed we have been with the work you've submitted, the effort you've put into everything over this very brief semester. It's really been quite a joy to watch and participate in over the course of the semester, so thank you very much for that. I wanted to bring you into the modules area today rather than showing you my oh so gorgeous face, because I want to kind of remind you what we've got going on, what's going to be due this week, what we've got scheduled for Friday, etc. So if we come down in the modules all the way down, I know you've been working feverishly on lessons 9 and 10. So lesson 9 is on our cognitive learning theories, and within that you had lesson plan analysis 6, as well as your classroom assessment techniques, one of our easiest assessments. Hoorah! So make sure those both get done by this evening. And then if we scroll down into lesson 10, that's social cognitive learning theory focusing on modeling. So with that you have the peer assessment that you should have completed by tonight as well. So those are the big things that need to be completed tonight. As I was just looking at the schedule, hopefully Dr. Selland won't kill me, I noticed we were also somehow requiring that you had lesson 11 done today as well. That's kind of freakish. So if you need to take a couple more days to finish lesson 11, you could finish that by Wednesday. That would be just fine. So if you need to distribute your work out a little bit, that would be okay. So I just changed the due date on lesson plan analysis 8 to Wednesday. We don't have an assessment due with modern constructivism because you do performance assessment, which is the main strategy that we use in modern constructivism. We do that in your curriculum and instruction class. So we're not going to make you do 2 of those or make you regrade it. But hopefully you noticed the distinction between projects and performance assessment. Here at UVU, we do consider those separate things. So if you need a review on the difference between the two, go back into the lesson where we talk about projects. That's back in lesson 3. Or here in, lesson 5, sorry. Or here in the modern constructivism lesson to get a review of what those are, okay? All right, so for the rest of the week, after you finish lesson 11, you've got to finish up your key assignments and then get ready to take the final exam. So to finish your key assignments, 2 things you need to do. First of all, as we come into the tipper, you need to finish up part 1. So part 1 is the 8 responses that come from your observations of other teachers from previous field experiences and classes that you've taken and things like that. So you've already submitted 4 of those. Make sure you do 4 more. Put those all together in a single document and put asterisks in front of the ones that we've already graded for you, please, so that we know which ones we've already done, okay? Then you also need to do part 2, okay? So if we come into the part 2 assignment description, that is a write-up of a lesson that you've taught using the theories that you've now learned as a lens through which to analyze those. So we've given you this semi-structured format right here. If you just click on that link, it'll download the file, open it up, and this is really the easiest way to complete this part of the assignment. Okay, so once this file actually opens, thank you computer for working. So fast, look at that, it must be running a UVU network. There it goes. All right, you're going to tell us a little bit about the class that you taught, whether you taught this lesson in a 7th grade classroom or in your methods class here on campus. Just give us a little bit of information about the class that you taught, about a paragraph here. Next, how you determined your students' readiness, interest, affect, and or profile. You don't have to do all 4 of those, but we're looking there at preparing to differentiate your lesson, and then how you planned to differentiate. Now, it's possible that when you originally taught the lesson, you didn't actually plan to differentiate. So again, kind of look at this retroactively. How did you end up working in some differentiation concepts? So look back through, think about what you did. Did you provide different tiers of content for different levels of readiness? Did you tie into students' interests? Did you connect to their emotions, or did you kind of differentiate for different learning styles? Okay. All right, then we come down here and you choose the major learning theory that you implemented. So did you implement behaviorism? If you did, you would probably use operant conditioning, the idea of shaping, meaning giving positive reinforcement for baby steps along the way to accomplishing a greater goal. Okay. Did you use information processing? In other words, was your focus on gaining students' attention, helping them process information in working memory, perhaps using the visuospatial sketchpad and the phonological loop, and then helping them or encouraging them to encode it, into long-term memory? Did you focus on social cognitivism? If you did, then you were modeling. That was your primary method of instruction. While you were modeling, you were finding ways to focus their attention on the model. You were helping them to retain the model in some way through mnemonic devices or note-taking or something along those lines. You were motivating them in some way to learn from the model, and you were giving them opportunities to practice or produce what was being modeled. So make sure everything you do there is focusing on a modeling event. If it's not, you're more likely on information processing, okay? Finally, modern constructivism. Did you allow students to co-construct, to socially negotiate meaning, to discover concepts through active exploration? Note here that it is not Piaget and Vygotsky. Those guys are developmental theorists, not learning theorists. So I want you using Bruner's modern constructivism, not Piaget or Vygotsky. They're old school constructivists, okay? All right, so you can check one of those off. If you want to, you can tell us what model of instruction from curriculum you used. So maybe you used a cooperative learning model of Jigsaw or something like that. You could put that in. And then explain to us, using vocab from the theory, just as I was kind of overviewing for you, how you actually implemented the theory in your lesson plan. So we don't need to see the lesson plan. We just want you to kind of narrate what happened using vocab. So that part will look fairly similar to one of your part 1 responses from the tipper, okay? Finally, and perhaps most importantly, come down here and answer these reflection questions. We really care a lot about this one. How might using another theory have improved the lesson or made it less effective? So if you tried using behaviorism and it ended up feeling like you were just coercing your students and dragging them through the mud and they got a really superficial level of learning, maybe modern constructivism would have worked differently. And if you'd used it, what might that have looked like? Okay? All right, so you just kind of write your responses to all of these questions, and then in the end, in order to submit this key assignment in full, you're going to put all of it together. Sorry, I'm kind of wandering around here. Okay, you're going to put all of the tipper together. So your 8 responses from part 1 and your response here to part 2 all in one document, and submit that right here as the complete tipper parts 1 and 2. Second key assignment for the AI final reflection. You have created all of your assessment inventories already. What you need to do for that, and there is information right here on the final reflection and submission, you need to go through and create a cover page with this information on it here. Then put your assessments in this order. Remember to include the title of the assessment, the core curriculum it addresses, the when, why, and what, and then the actual assignment description, and if applicable, the rubric, whatever the instrument is, okay? That includes for your paper and pencil test the answer key. So make sure every single piece you've created for the assessment inventory gets in here. Then at the very end, you'll have the final reflection, okay? So with the final reflection, answer these 4 questions. It should take a couple of single-spaced pages to do that. Do it thoroughly, do it well, we love you, answer thoroughly, peoples. All right, so you've got a little bit to do in preparation for your final. Try to get all of this done by Thursday. That means lesson 11 should be completed and your key assignment should be all put together by Thursday night. Friday, we are planning on our final exam experience. Okay, so there's a little personal learning theory assignment that goes along with that to help you review. And then I need to change some dates on here, obviously, but complete the final exam, which I'll have posted for you on here if it's not already here, and then come to participate in our Socratic seminar. So we have that scheduled for Friday. Sorry for the crazy whizzing around here. If you go into the announcements, we should have an announcement about that somewhere here. And it doesn't look like it's here. So I'll find that for you, repost it, but come to the final on Friday. If that's absolutely not possible for you, please email me and I will send you alternative instructions, okay? Nobody should have to mail anything or do anything crazy, like use paper, to accomplish this. It should all be fairly seamless coming into the final stretch. I know this is going to be an incredibly busy week for you guys, but we also fully believe that you can do this. We're here to help you and answer questions if you need it. So please let us know how things are going, okay? All right, good luck, everybody. Thanks so much.